Hello guys and welcome to another video. My name is Mark, I'm an entrepreneur and property investor, and in today's video we're talking about how to prepare for the 2023 recession. And me and Tom, my videographer, we've been having a big conversation about all these sort of things, and we think we can add quite a lot of value to anybody out there who's a little bit worried. There are two ways to attack it, and we're going to go through everything with you. But before we do that, I'd like to remind everybody that we have the subscriber dividend portfolio, which I put £1,000 into every single month, and then every time we get the dividend from that, I pay it out to a lucky subscriber, and there's a competition every single month. The next one's going to be on the 10th, so why not consider subscribing? And if you haven't already given this video a like, why not give it a like? It really does help me out with the YouTube algorithm. Let's get stuck into the video though. Let's talk about how to weather these sort of storms, because these financial storms do come along every so often. It's really important that we're prepared for them. Now, what I've done up here is an income statement, and in business you quite often have two sides to your finances. The first one is an income and expenditure, commonly known as a profit and loss, and the second one would be a balance sheet. And I'll talk a little bit about balance sheet in a minute, but when it comes to recessions, we're really concerned about our income and expenditure, because quite often what's happening is our incomes may be being squeezed and our expenses are possibly increasing, especially in a high inflation environment, which is what we're in at the moment. Interest rates are rising, which is going to increase costs for things like housing, cars, well, pretty much across the board, to be honest. Anything where there's going to be an interest rate involved, so housing being a prime example with mortgages, and even if you rent, your landlord is likely to have a mortgage, and as such, rents are likely to go up. So expenses going up is a big problem, incomes being squeezed as there's more people unemployed, and salaries aren't able to rise at the same rate. Now, that's all by design when it comes to these sort of things, because they're trying to take demand out of the market. So it'd be incredibly hard for you to compete against the Bank of England or the government when it comes to these sort of policies. What you have to do is go with it, in my opinion. So what I look at when it comes to these sort of things is how can I cut my expenses first of all? And that's the first place we're going to go to. And me and Tom, we were talking about this, what the average sort of costs for people are going to be. And housing, we think is about £1,200, whether that's a mortgage or rent, it's about £1,200. Cars for two people, two cars, two sets of insurance, £600 a month we think is reasonable. Bills, £1,000 a month, that's to include petrol, council tax, services including like gas, electricity, all those sort of things. I mean, you can see council tax being a couple of hundred. Bills, 200, 300, petrol, 300, maybe per car. It might even be a little bit light on £1,000. Food, £400 a month, phones, £100 a month, and subscriptions I put in at 40. Now that might be Netflix, it might be gym, I don't know what your flavour of subscriptions are. And the grand total for that comes to about £3,340. And we've taken two people on an average salary at 2k per take home per person, and I accept one might out earn the other, and these are just averages, you know, we've got to come up with some figures. But then we've taken off what we would consider not essentials, right? And we've kept a little bit of entertainment with subscriptions, whether it's Netflix, whether it's gym. But clothes, easy to spend a couple £100 a month. Nights out, very easy to spend a couple £100 a month. Takeaways, 150. I mean, you were saying, Tom, that you could do 50 quid a week, so 200 plus, right? So yeah, it easily could be £200. And then this is Tom's Dunelm trap, he calls it. Buying things. And describe buying things to us, Tom.
It's a trap that everyone falls into, either whether it's you or if it's your loved one. And it's the case of when you're doing a normal food shop, or even a non-normal food shop, and you see a mirror that's supposedly half price, and it looks good for £28, but you don't have that £28 to spend. And that's in all of these places. Home Bargains and B&M, Dunelm, they're all
very
traps.
dangerous places.
Yes.
So Tom finds B&M, Dunelm and Home Bargains incredibly dangerous places.
You've got so much random stuff that just looks good in the place that you live.
And you could spend a couple £100 a month on all those sort of things,
yeah.
Right? And we can see very easily, we've got no debt payments up here. We haven't got a credit card. And I mean, I'm sure you've got some debt, I've got some debt, consumer debt, you know, we haven't listed any of that. It's very easy to see how your expenses can be equal to or greater than your income. Now, the first thing I recommend anybody doing when we're in a difficult financial situation is to be real with yourself. Where am I today? Because if you know where you are today, you can start to work out how to get somewhere better, right? It's the same as if you were going on a car journey. Where am I now? and then you can start to plot a route to where you want to get to. So I think it's really important that first of all you do a budget, you understand where you are, and then we can start attacking things. And me and Tom kind of discussed that that's about as much as you can do with expenses, right? You can't cut any more because you're going to have to eat, you've got to have somewhere to live, you need to be able to travel around and have a car. Generally speaking, if you're living in a city area, maybe you don't, but you're going to need a phone for communication, and cutting 40 quid on subscriptions is just pointless. Like, it's too much enjoyment if you enjoy going to the gym to lose and sacrifice. It's more important that you solve the other problem, which is at the moment we don't necessarily have enough income. And I think that's the key thing. And I always talk about passive income, and we've got investing on our list of how to increase income, but that only comes if you've got money, right? Like, you have to be able to invest money in order to create passive income. And we kind of came up with a list, didn't we, Tom? And the first one was side hustles. And we described this really as two things, right? Either you create a business yourself, and that could be anything you're passionate in, you're a videographer, right?
Well, it can either be, I can do wedding videos, or even photography, or stuff like if you can make jewelry, or if you can bake, you can make those and sell them, which also comes hand in hand with number 6, because you can also film it. And that's two lots at the same time.
Or you can plug into someone else's system, right? So you either create your own little mini business, which probably has a higher risk and a higher potential reward. And we always say on this channel, higher risk, higher potential reward, not guaranteed reward. Whereas if you plug into somebody else's system, then the rewards can almost be guaranteed. For example, delivery drivers have a good idea, Domino's for example, what their delivery drivers are going to earn. I own a taxi company, I can tell you almost down to the pound an hour exactly what my driver's going to earn depending on which hours they're working. For example, Friday and Saturday night, I know if people do 2 10-hour shifts, right hours on a Friday, Saturday night, they're going to earn £250, £300 a week, something like that. And do that over the course of a month, that's between 1,200 and 1,500 quid a month. Gig economy stuff, this is plugging into other people's systems. I reckon it's fairly easy for somebody to give up enough time with enough skill, no matter who you are or what your background is, that you could make £1,000 a month.
Yeah,
I think that's easy.
Extra few grand on top of your
I think £1,000 a month is very, very easy if you want it. Second job, we put this separately because we felt that this was like going and getting a weekend job. So it didn't quite have the same risks or the rewards, but maybe you've got a specific skill that would mean your second job could be quite a good job. But a second job, it could be anywhere from minimum wage is £10 an hour, anyway up to whatever your hourly rate might be. Most of this is, unfortunately though, work harder. Not a lot of this is going to be, get someone else to do it for you, unfortunately.
Especially second job will most likely be you end up working 7 days a week to be able to get an extra couple hundred or something on top.
I think you probably, 2 days a week.
Well, I did 3 days a week at Tesco and it was like 525 quid.
Okay, 500 quid for three days a month, was that?
3 days a week.
3 days a week. Okay. And we could class overtime in the same category, couldn't we? It's swapping time for money if you're in an hourly rate type of job. You could also ask for a pay rise if you're in a job where maybe you've got some specific skills. Number 4 on this list was investing and getting passive income. And that's something that's really close to my heart because we were talking about my car, right? And we were saying, how much do I spend on my car? And it's about £1,000 a month. But you then piped in.
Yeah, that you pay
that.
Yeah, you don't spend that. You use that.
I use that to pay for that. And really, that is the aim of all of this wealth creation stuff, right? It's to make your passive income pay for your lifestyle. The key thing on this is for every £1,000 you invest into index funds, for example, and we'll just use that as an example, if we said on average you're going to get 10%, and some years it's more, some years it's less, then you're going to get £100 a year increasing over time for every £1,000 you put in. But you've got to have the money to be able to do that. So that's the challenge with that is some of these take time and some of them take money, and this is one of the ones that takes money. The benefit with creating your own little business or anything like this, or putting it into passive income, is that pays you forever. So if you've got I'm just going to use taxis because it's my business, right? Yeah. Let's say for example you earned your £1,500 a month, you paid your tax, you were left with £1,000, well every month you could put in another £1,000 into your investments, and that would pay you another £100 a year every single month, constantly, and it would just grow and grow and grow and grow and grow. And it wouldn't take long for that to be a sizable pot and for that to start paying most of your bills.
You can do quite a few of these at the same time, because you can do 1, 6, and 4. Because obviously you can use them, like you said, you just said, you can use the extra money. You can make videos of doing that, and use the extra money to put into invest it.
Absolutely. Now the next one, we said we could come up with a good equation for this. Space in the garage plus space in loft, probably add a little bit of time, equals the number of unwanted items that you can sell on eBay. And you've only lived in your house a short space of time, but you reckon you've already got a couple of grand's worth of stuff.
It's stuff like you get a bed off Facebook for cheap, and then it breaks or whatever happens. Like it's too low. Something's not right with it, so you decide to get another bed for free off Facebook. That bed that you got for free, you could probably still sell for 50 quid or whatever it is. My drone's broken.
Your drone's broken. Why not sell that on eBay? Spares or repair. Somebody will take it off you and they'll pay you for it. I remember selling an iPhone. I mean, in our business, we have like 10, 15 iPhones that float around the management. Every couple of years we sell them. Sometimes they're cracked screens, bad batteries. They're still bought for a few £100. Yeah. So it would be unusual for someone not to have a couple of grand. I sold my golf clubs that I wasn't using. Got 1,500 quid for those. I sold an electric scooter I wasn't using. I got 400 quid for that. You know, I sell my items that I don't use.
There's so much stuff that you probably don't realise you can make money from.
I recommend everybody go through your spare garage, go through your loft, find out what you've got that you could sell, list it up, just stick it on eBay. You know, you're gonna make some money. I am certain of it. But look, guys, you get the point on this, right? Really, you know, there's only so much you can do on the expenses side of things. And if I talk through my personal stuff, my housing, you know, at the moment is zero, which is very, very fortunate. We have a mortgage-free house. Cars, we spend about £1,000 a month, completely paid for from passive income. Bills, well, we got solar, which pays for some of it, but on top of that, we spend quite a lot on petrol because my wife's got a 4.4 litre V8, so that's about 150 quid a week. Council tax, all the other bills, we've got all the other normal bills. I'd say it's over £1,000 a month, completely paid for from passive income. Food, completely paid for from passive income.
As well, another thing you can sell is clothes. There's websites.
Clothes, yeah. If you've got clothes, my wife, again, has sold loads of clothes, brand new with tags, because she is a bit of a hoarder, and she would fully admit this as well. And, you know, brand new with tags, she sold loads of stuff and got good money for it.
There's apps as well. I think there's an app called Depop or something where you can sell clothes on it.
But I really think people need to just get serious about, okay, where is my income? Where is my expenses? How can I make this spread? And how can I start getting money into here? If you do that, no matter what happens in the economy, you're gonna be okay. And the other thing I would say is just don't run out of cash, guys. In these times when things get hard, it's the people that have got some cash, some buffer, they're the ones that survive and do okay. Make sure you got some cash. Make sure you don't run out of cash. If you haven't already subscribed, please do. It really helps us out. And if you could give the video a big like, it really does help us out with the algorithm. Comment below. We'll answer every single one. And guys, we'll see you on the next video. All the best.